What's up, everybody? I'm Gridiron Gilly. This is the Gridiron Gilly Show. The show's for anybody who's ever worn pads or worn out the remote watching football. You don't have to play the game, just gotta love the game, and I hope that's why you're here. In this episode, I will be recapping Week 8 college football, breaking down 10 games. Week 9 college football, I did pretty good last week. I won some money, won $200 some odd dollars, so heck yeah. 11-leg parlay too. I had an 11-legger. It was, I think, $3 I put in, and I won 240. So that's pretty good. I got my LSU cup here, and I got my A&M hat on. Big game this Saturday night. I will be talking about that one. Got to save the best for last, though. Swig of water for the working man. All right, let's recap Week 8 real quick, okay? So let me look on my phone right here. So last week I talked to you guys about LSU at Vanderbilt. I said a lot of things, but I said Vanderbilt would ultimately win that game, and they did. Georgia Tech at Duke. Said Duke had a shot for the upset. I figured they would pull it. They didn't. Georgia Tech went in to Duke, came out victorious. So shout out to Georgia Tech, still undefeated. Baylor TCU took the over on that, and it hit. Texas A&M Arkansas took Texas A&M. Great game. Ole Miss at Georgia. I took Georgia. That hit. SMU Clemson. I took Clemson, but when I bet SMU plus 6.5 or whatever the spread was, and SMU won, so I won there. Maryland UCLA. I took UCLA. UCLA won. Tennessee Bama. I took Alabama to win that, and they did. USC Notre Dame. I took Notre Dame, and they won. And the last one, Utah BYU. I took Utah. They did not win. BYU won. But I did not bet physically on that game. Thankfully, I didn't, because I would have been upset had that been the one that cost me. But anyways, that was last week. Let's talk about this week. I've got 10 games I'm breaking down. Gonna try not to ramble too much, but the first game I'm gonna break down is UCLA at number 2 Indiana, the Hoosiers. Okay, let me get my notepad right here. I take pretty good notes, I feel like. So first of all, UCLA 3-4 on the year, lost the first 4, and they won the last 3. They're pretty hot. Indiana, however, 7-0. You want to know who those guys have played? UCLA has lost to Utah, Nevada, Las Vegas, New Mexico, and Northwestern. But they turned around and they beat Penn State, Michigan State, Maryland, the Broken, the Beaten, and the Damned. It's a good song. And here we have Indiana. Indiana, the Hoosiers have beaten Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, beat them bad. Iowa, close game. Oregon, big win on the road. And then Michigan, they just beat Michigan State. So Indiana, they're red hot right now. But I would say the same thing about UCLA. UCLA is red hot right now. Only thing is, I think red hot is about as red hot as one of those red hot candies, and Indiana's red hot as a fire would be. That's the difference there. I think Indiana's a step above, but we'll see. Let's talk about them real quick, shall we? UCLA quarterback Nico Iamaleava. Nico Iamaleava. He's got 1,355 yards on the year, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. A QBR of 64.2, 62nd in college football. 74 carries for 360 yards, 4 touchdowns. Running back Jalen Berger. This is UCLA, by the way, if I didn't address that. Jalen Berger, running back, 54 carries, 232 yards, 1 touchdown. Javian Thomas, 53 carries, 226 yards, 1 touchdown. Wide receiver Quasi Gilmer, 30 receptions, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defensive lineman Anthony Jones, 1.5 sacks. Linebacker, name so nice you say it twice, John Vaughns. He's got 66 tackles on the year. And then you got a safety, Key Lawrence, 39 tackles, 2 forced fumbles. So you got a couple playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. Let's look at what Indiana brings to the table. Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza, 1,755 yards, 21 touchdowns, 2 picks. QBR 87.7, 5th in the country. Running back Kalen Black, 72 carries, 439 for 3 touchdowns. And Roman Hemby, 90 carries, 432, 2 touchdowns. Oh, and they got another guy, Kobe Martin, 31 carries, 262, 4 touchdowns. So a triple-headed monster back there. Wide receiver, Elijah Surratt, 43 receptions, 603 yards, 9 touchdowns. Wide receiver, Omar Cooper, 37 receptions, 581, 7 touchdowns. Linebacker, Isaiah Jones, 37 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 1 interception. DB, Lewis Moore, 49 tackles, 4 interceptions. Defensive tackle, Tyreek Tucker, 3 sacks. And linebacker, Elijah Hardy, 4 sacks. Oh, and defensive back, Amari Farrell, 24 tackles, 3 interceptions. So a lot of guys who have a nose for the football on that side of the football for Indiana. A lot of playmakers on the offensive side too. I just read 3 running backs, 2 really good receivers there. Let's look at what these teams do, because really this is what matters here. This is how I evaluate these games. UCLA's offense, they're ranked. Well, I don't know what they're ranked, but their offense is putting up 364 yards per game, 193 through the air, 171 on the ground, 22 points a game. So they're not scoring a whole lot. 364 yards. Their defense is giving up 364 yards, so it's the exact same as the offense. 178 through the air, 186 on the ground, 27 points per game. So they're getting scored on more than they're scoring. That's why they're 3-4. Giving up a lot on the ground as well. 186 yards is a lot, I feel like. Indiana's offense, 497 yards of offense a game, 271 through the air, 226 on the ground, 43 points a game. It's hard to lose a game when you score 43 points a game. That's why they're 7-0. And this is another reason why right here. Their defensive, they're giving up 248 yards a game, 163 passing, 85 rushing. So teams aren't really running the ball too well against Indiana. And Indiana's only given up 11 points per game. I've already told you who these teams have played. I've already told you these teams' record. Betting odds, Indiana's favored. The spread's -24.5. Total's 54.5. I mean, Indiana's probably going to win this game. I don't have too much to talk about. I'm not going to count UCLA out, though. Their head coach, Jerry Neuheisel, he's an interim coach. Could be the head man, though, because since he's been the interim coach there, he's done nothing but win. He has not lost yet. And, yeah, UCLA, I said they're riding a 3-game win streak. Cignetti, however, that guy, he said, Google me. He said, just give me a Google and find out who I am. So I Googled him. And at Indiana, this is year number 2 for him. He is 18-2 as a head coach at Indiana. And he's 137-37 as a head coach all time. So that's pretty good. He's got 100 more wins than losses. But Jerry Neuheisel, he's 3-0 as a head coach. Hadn't lost a game yet. Going on the road into Indiana, wouldn't that be something to go on the road against the number 2 team in the country, come out victorious? I mean, UCLA. Could UCLA do that? They could. I would like to see it happen. I think it'd be pretty dope, honestly. But I'm not going to bet on it. But I think it would be cool to see. And I think you would, if you're watching this, I think you would think it would be cool to see too. I just like him because he looks like old boy from Game of Thrones. Joffrey. Looks like old Joffrey from Game of Thrones. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go Indiana. Money line on this one. I'm not even going to take them to cover because if they get ahead in the first quarter, 45-0, and sub out their whole team, well, UCLA is going to come out and put probably 25 up, and UCLA is going to cover. So I'm not going to take Indiana to cover. I'll take Indiana money line. I feel like that's safe. That's a safe bet, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what the Gilmeister is going to do. Let's check out this next game. Ooh, this one's good. Number 8, Ole Miss at number 13, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored on this one. Oklahoma is favored. The spread is OU minus 4.5. Totals 54.5. OU money line is minus 210. Ole Miss is plus 175. So I don't know why OU is favored. I guess because they're at home. I haven't seen really anything too extraordinary out of them this year. Ole Miss has a amazing offense. They can score a lot of points. They can score quick. They can score fast. They can score in a lot of ways on the offensive side of the ball. Let's run through this real quick. Ole Miss has beaten Georgia State, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tulane, LSU, Washington State in a close one, lost to Georgia. Oklahoma has beaten Illinois State, Michigan, Temple, Auburn, Kent State, lost to Texas, just beat South Carolina. Who's better, Georgia or Texas? I say Georgia. Did Ole Miss almost beat Georgia? They did. Did Oklahoma almost beat Texas? No, they did not. They didn't even score a touchdown, I don't think. But that, I mean, is that relevant to this scenario here? Because if that's all you go off of, then no, Oklahoma should not be favored. But I'm going to do this backwards. Let me read you their stats, okay? So Ole Miss, offensively, they're putting up 491 yards of offense, 304 through the air, 187 on the ground, 37 points a game. Defensively, they're getting 362, 195 through the air, 166 on the ground, 22 points a game. So it looks like they, I don't think 195 is a lot of yards passing, but 166 on the ground, I feel like that's a lot of rush yards. So Ole Miss may not be that good defensively in the run game. Let's look at Oklahoma though. Oklahoma's offense, 379 yards a game, 249 through the air, 129 on the ground. So they don't really do a lot on the ground. Oklahoma's still figuring out their run game. Don't really have much of a run game, but they are undefeated, and they're scoring 28 points a game. And here's why Oklahoma's undefeated. Let me just read this to you. I was impressed whenever I saw this. Oklahoma's defense, they're getting up 213 yards a game, which is number 1 in the country. 132 through the air, that's 4th in the country. 80 on the ground, that's also 4th in the country. And they're only giving up 9 points a game. 9 points. That's 2nd in the country. You look at who they played. Oklahoma, they played Illinois State, Michigan, Temple, Auburn, Kent State, Texas, South Carolina. So 3 in-conference games. They're 2-1 in those in-conference games. You beat South Carolina, a team that is in shambles. I can't really figure it out. Auburn, kind of the same thing going on there. And then Texas, very disappointing. Haven't figured it out on the offensive side of the ball yet. So, I mean, those numbers could be skewed. I think Oklahoma is a good team, but I think Ole Miss is by far going to be the best team that they played thus far. Quarterback for Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, 1,549 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. QBR 84.4, 8th in the nation. 70 carries, 323 yards, 5 touchdowns. Does a little bit of both. Running back Quan Lacey, 138 carries, 618 yards, 10 touchdowns. So he runs the ball a lot. Wide receiver Harrison Wallace, the third, 21 receptions, 400. I believe it says 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. The tight end Daquan Wright, 19 receptions, 393, 3 touchdowns. Deuce Alexander, 22 receptions, 382, and 1 touchdown. And tight end Luke Hatz, 26 receptions, 324, 4 touchdowns. So a few guys there with around 20 or more interceptions. Wright has 19, but the rest of them have over 20. So this boy Chambliss, he can get the ball to a few guys out there. Defensively, defensive tackle Xavier Harris, 31 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 INT. Linebacker TJ Daugherty, 46 tackles, 1 forced fumble. Defensive tackle Will Eccles, 32 tackles, 3 sacks. So that D-line, they can get to the quarterback. So right there, I'll pause. I won't resume Oklahoma yet because just right there, Oklahoma's gonna have to protect John Mateer. John Mateer, he's back. He's playing. Just beat South Carolina last week. But defensively, Oklahoma's fine. Okay, offensively, they got to still figure some things out if they're going to be a competitor in the Southeastern Conference. Ole Miss has it figured out on the offensive side of the ball, but defensively, I don't think they do. They've got scored on a lot. Almost lost to Arkansas, lost to Georgia in a shootout. Who else did they play? LSU. I think LSU was a pretty high scoring game too, or low scoring. It was something. It was close, I think. But yeah, Ole Miss. They don't have great defense, but Oklahoma's offense is not great. Oklahoma's defense is great, and Ole Miss's offense is great. So it's going to be a battle right there between old Trinidad Chambliss and Oklahoma's defense, which is a top 5 in the country and looks like every category. Let's look at Oklahoma now. Quarterback John Mateer, the preseason Heisman favorite. 1,567 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, QBR 72.2, 36th in the country. Doesn't sound very Heisman quality to me. 65 carries, 209, 5 touchdowns. Running back Torrey Blaylock, 87 carries, 391, 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Isaiah Sategna, the third, 37 receptions, 493, 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Deion Burks, 32 receptions, 358, 2 touchdowns. Tight end Jaron Kanak, 24 receptions, 364. Defensive tackle R. Mason Thomas, 20 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Linebacker Kip Lewis, 31 tackles. Defensive end Taylor Ween, 3.5 sacks, 1 interception. I've already read you their numbers. I've already read you who they played. I said Oklahoma got one of the best defenses in the country. Probably why they were picked to win. Oklahoma has not played an offense this good. Ole Miss has not faced a defense this good. Is Oklahoma going to be able to throw the ball? It's very likely. It is likely. But I don't think they'll be able to run the ball. Not that Ole Miss has a good run defense. I just don't think Oklahoma has really established the run game. I think if Oklahoma is able to hand it off, and Blaylock here to be between the tackles, I think he can average 4 yards a carry, which is what you need. But I think this game, if Oklahoma does win, it's going to be through the air and not on the ground. Through the air, I feel like it's going to be the Mateer show, all Mateer. If Oklahoma wins this one, I want to see what Oklahoma's defense looks like against Ole Miss's offense, because Oklahoma's ranked, first, fourth, and second, and that's yards, pass, rush, and points. But Ole Miss's offense is pretty daggum good, so I want to see that matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup. And honestly, when the season started and I was talking about all these games back then and which team has what to offer, I remember I said something. I said something on TikTok before I got banned, but I said something about Brent Venables being one of the best defensive minds in college football. And somebody told me, they said, "What has Oklahoma done to make you think that?" I just told you what they've done. Now, granted, what Venables did at Clemson, Oklahoma's not going to do that. Oklahoma's not going to win a national championship this year. Probably not next year. And I don't know, but don't count on it this year for sure. Even with these numbers, they're very, very good defensively. Defense wins championships, but you got to win games to get there. Is Ole Miss going to win this game? Is Oklahoma going to win this game? You ask Gridiron Gilly. Gridiron Gilly is going to tell you that Oklahoma will, in fact, win this game. It's going to be their toughest test yet, and Oklahoma, I believe, will win this game. It's not going to be because of their offense, though. It's going to be because of their defense. You know what Oklahoma and Texas was like? Texas didn't look good offensively, but they found a way to win. Texas only had one offensive touchdown. They had a few field goals. I think they had a special teams play or a defensive touchdown. They had one offensive touchdown against Oklahoma's defense. This is kind of the same thing here. Is Oklahoma's going to win this game, but it's going to be because their defense is going to hold it down. I feel like as good as Ole Miss's offense is, I think they'll be able to contain them. They'll put Trinidad Chambliss in a blender, make him make some mistakes, and that's all it's going to take. I've got Oklahoma winning this one, 31-23 in Norman. And I hate saying that because I don't like Oklahoma, but I'm just a realist, and I think old BV, Boomer Sooner, I think they're gonna get it done this Saturday. Swig of water for the working man. Next game, South Florida, number 18 South Florida at Memphis. Memphis just got upset by UAB after firing Dilfer as their head coach. UAB just upset Memphis. South Florida's only loss to Miami. Let's run through that real quick. South Florida's beaten Boise State, Florida, lost to Miami, beat South Carolina State, beat Charlotte, beat UNT, beat North Texas, UNT North Texas, and then FAU, Florida Atlantic. Memphis has beaten Chattanooga, Georgia State, Troy, Arkansas, Florida Atlantic, Tulsa, lost to UAB. USF and Memphis, both 6-1 coming in this game. Quarterback Byron Brown, 1,695 yards through the air, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, QBR 67.8, 49th in the country. He's got 99 carries, 475 yards, 6 touchdowns. A lot of these quarterbacks are doing a lot on the ground as well, so shout out to those guys. Sam Franklin, running back, 44 carries, 275, 3 touchdowns. I think he's a little shaken up right now. I'm not sure if he's going to go. Alvin Isaac, 43 carries, 225. Nakai Davenport, 42 carries, 236, 3 touchdowns. And I'll say his name, but he's not going to play. Cartavius Norton. He got hurt a couple of weeks ago. I think he's done for the year. But I talked about South Florida a few weeks ago when they played North Texas. I talked about that game, and I read all these running backs off. They had several of them who all put in work, who all tote the rock, and who all make a difference in the run game for South Florida. Four guys, and I think they're pretty beaten up right now in the run game. So I'm not sure who's going to be out there running the ball for South Florida, but when you have a quarterback who's putting up numbers like that, and Memphis is a good team, but I still like my chances whenever you have Byron Brown at quarterback. At wide receiver, Chas Nimron, 23 receptions, 466, 3 touchdowns. Keyshawn Singleton, 22 receptions, 363, 3 touchdowns. Linebacker, Mac Harris, 56 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 1 interception. Jalen Schuler, 61 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. Nice. Memphis, their quarterback, Brendan Lewis, 1,337 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, QBR 64.0%, 63rd in the nation, 86 carries, 440 yards, 7 touchdowns. They also have A.J. Hill at quarterback because Lewis, I believe he's hurt too. So I believe South Florida's run game is hurting right now, and I think Memphis's quarterback, I think he's questionable. They had A.J. Hill quarterbacking last week for them in their game against UAB, the game they lost. I'm not sure if he'll be back. I don't know what the extent of his injury was, if it was concussion related or if it was an ankle. I'm not sure what it was. But, yeah, he's hurt. Not sure if he'll play Saturday. We'll see. I'm going to bank on him playing, though, when I go through this. Running back Sutton Smith, 75 carries, 480, 6 touchdowns. Greg DeRosier Jr., 57 carries, 389, 5 touchdowns. So a couple good backs there. Cortez Bram Jr., 29 receptions, 491, 5 touchdowns. Jamari Hawkins, 21 receptions, 346. Linebacker Sam Brumfield, 41 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 1 interception. DB Drew Watts, 42 tackles, 1 sack. Safety Kamari Wilson, 40 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions. DeMarco Ward, 38 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions. South Florida has offensively, they're putting up 476 yards a game, 260 passing, 215 rushing, 41 points a game. South Florida's defense is giving up 375 a game, 264 passing, 111 rushing, 23 points. So don't look like their pass defense is too great. Memphis offense giving up they're putting up 436 yards, 216 passing, 220 rushing. So significantly less passing, but a little bit more rushing, and 38 points a game, 3 less than South Florida. Defensively, 335 yards, 228 passing, 106 rushing, and 18 points a game. So defensively, statistically, Memphis is better on the defensive side of the ball. But like I said, if Lewis is playing and he's healthy versus the A.J. Hill, you can expect a different outcome of the game. I'm not saying Memphis would win if Lewis played, but I think Lewis playing and being healthy adds a different expectation to their offense, a different element to their offense, what they're accustomed to seeing. Memphis, South Florida, like I said, those guys put up a lot of points. We know that 41 points. Defense is a little bit broke. But I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm not counting the UAB loss against Memphis. I'm not. I don't care who starts at quarterback for Memphis Saturday. I'm going to take South Florida to win this game. I just think, despite South Florida's run game, they're going to have somebody back there to tote the pill. They're going to average 4 yards a carry. They're going to move the line of scrimmage. That's going to happen. And better yet, you're going to have Bruce Brown or Byron Brown. He's going to run the ball. He's going to pick up yards. You get him in third down, he's going to execute. And he's got these receivers, old Nimrod and Singleton, and they're going to make some plays. I like those guys to make some plays. I like South Florida to score some points. I think Memphis won this game last year it's pretty one-sided, I believe. But this is a new year. This is a new look South Florida team. Memphis, traditionally, I think they're pretty good. I think they're all right. But I just like South Florida. I think the quality of win South Florida has trumps Memphis. Memphis has beaten Arkansas. Arkansas is a great offense, one of the best offenses in the country, but defense is in shambles. So, I mean, they did beat them, but South Florida also beat Florida. And pretty low scoring game. So they played good defense against the Southeastern Conference team. And you can say what you want to about Florida. They could still beat a lot of teams in the country, even some SEC teams. They've already done it. But if you're going to ask Gridiron Gilly who's going to win this game, you got South Florida minus 4.5 in the spread, total 63.5 points. South Florida money line minus 210, Memphis plus 175. And I'm going to take South Florida to win this game 32-18. I think that's a good score. Like I said, Lewis, if he plays, if he doesn't play, I guess we'll see Saturday. That 18 points, though. If Lewis plays and he's healthy, it could be more than that. It could be a shootout. But I still like South Florida to win. I might even say South Florida would cover. But I think the safe bet is just to say South Florida money line at minus 210. Next game. Oh, this one won't take long at all. Northwestern at Nebraska. Both teams 5-2. Nebraska spread minus 7.5. Total 43.5 points. Nebraska money line minus 275. Northwestern plus 225. Northwestern has lost to Tulane, beat Western Illinois, lost to Oregon, beat UCLA, beat Monroe, beat Penn State, beat Purdue. Nebraska's beaten Cincinnati, Akron, Houston Christian, lost to Michigan in the Bussin' Bowl, lost to Michigan State, lost to Maryland, no, my bad. Lost to Michigan, beat Michigan State, beat Maryland, lost to Minnesota. Just lost to Minnesota. Pretty one-sided game. Minnesota's a good team, though, the Gophers. They're pretty good. They can beat you. Quarterback Preston Stone for Northwestern. 1,213 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 picks. QBR 49.6, 100th in the country. Running back Caleb Komolafe, 107 carries, 483 yards, 5 touchdowns. Joseph Hyman, 73 carries, 360. Wide receiver Griffin Wild, 36 receptions, 516, 4 touchdowns. D lineman Anto Saka, 8 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. DB Robert Fitzgerald, 60 tackles. Middle linebacker Mac Uline, 51 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions. Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola, 1,768 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks. QBR 65.2, 61st in the country. Running back Emmett Johnson, 119 for 713 and 7 touchdowns, 29 receptions, 167, 1 touchdown. Wide receiver Naziah Hunter, 27 receptions, 455, 4 touchdowns. Dane Key, 20 receptions, 269, 4 touchdowns. Ja'Cory Barney Jr., 27 receptions, 365, 3 touchdowns. Tight end Luke Lindenmeyer, 23 for 248, 2 touchdowns. Linebacker Dason McCullough, 16 tackles, 2 sacks. Linebacker Jabin Wright, 51 tackles. Northwestern's offense, 364 yards a game, 174 passing, 190 rushing, 22 points a game. Northwestern's defense, 305 a game, 168 passing, 136 rushing, 15 points a game. Sounds all right. Nebraska's offense, 416 passing, 416 yards a game, 291 passing, 125 rushing, 36 points a game. So Northwestern's running the ball better each game than Nebraska is. Nebraska's defense, 279 yards a game, 123 passing, 156 rushing, 19 points a game. So Nebraska's defense, I think their defense is, I wrote it down right here. Defensively, Northwestern is 22nd in yards per game. 22nd. Defensively, Northwestern is 22nd in yards a game. 18th in pass yards a game. And 11th in scoring. So defensively, they're not bad. They're 5-2. Offensively, though, they're abysmal. Quarterback play. 49.6% QBR, 100th in the nation. What is their offense? They're scoring 22 points a game. How are they winning when they score 22 points a game? Well, I'll tell you how. Because the games that they've won, they played UCLA when UCLA was down. I think that was before UCLA fired their coach. They've beaten Monroe, who I like Coach Vincent, but you're supposed to beat Monroe. They beat Penn State, who's a battered Ram, or a battered Nittany Lion, I should say. They beat Western Illinois, and who the hell are they? They're beating Purdue. I think a lot of teams beat Purdue. I think that's expected, is to beat Purdue. So I'm not impressed with anything Northwestern has done. They're gonna have to show me, if they want me to believe, if they want me to put down on this piece of paper that Northwestern is the real deal and that they'll compete and that they'll win games, they're gonna have to show me something. 5-2 doesn't show me anything. Nebraska's 5-2. Who has Nebraska played? Nebraska's lost to Michigan, Minnesota, but they beat a mediocre Maryland team, and they beat a Cincinnati team in week 1 who is a front runner right now in the Big 12 conference. Cincinnati's undefeated in conference play, a front runner in the Big 12, right up there with BYU. If they played right now, you might say, well, Cincinnati would win if they played right now. Maybe. But they still beat them. Nebraska's obviously played the tougher schedule. And here's another thing for you. Nebraska's kicker, Kyle Cunanan. Don't know how to say his last name, but it's Cunanan. Cunanan. 91% field goal percentage. 52 is his long. So he's made a 52-yarder this year. If this game, the 43.5 points, it's going to be a low-scoring game, they think. And if it is a low-scoring game, that's going to matter. That Kyle Cunanan, that 91%, that 52 long, is going to matter if it's a low-scoring game. I don't have it a low-scoring game. I think this is the game where Nebraska, first of all, you got 2 losses already, 2 conference losses at that. So you can't afford any errors, okay? Which Northwestern can't either. But Northwestern, we don't expect anything from them, okay? I think their stadium only holds like 10,000 people. We don't expect anything from Northwestern in football. Maybe bowling. Maybe they can bowl some strikes. Maybe get some turkeys. But not on the gridiron. Gridiron Gilly does not believe he's going to see anything from Northwestern on the gridiron that's going to impress him. I haven't seen anything yet from Nebraska that really impressed me other than their run game. And I think this game, like I said, defensively, Northwestern, 136 rush, 168 through the air. I think Raiola is going to expose them. I think Emmett Johnson is going to expose them. I think Nebraska's offense is going to have their way with this defense. And as atrocious as Northwestern's offense is, I mean, if you're Oklahoma, you can win games like that. If you're Texas, you can win games like that. Northwestern, no way. Give me Nebraska to win this one, 37-14. I'll give Northwestern some points, but I just don't see Northwestern. I'm not going to give them more than 14 points. This could be a 17-14 game, but I don't see it. The numbers tell me that Northwestern's defense is good. But I think Nebraska's better. I think they played better teams, better quality opponents, better quality wins. And I think they run it up this week. Over 43.5. I'll take the over on that. I'll take Nebraska minus 7.5, and I'll take the over 43.5. Northwestern's not going to win that game. Next game, this one's be pretty easy too. SMU at Wake Forest. SMU spreads minus 3.5 for SMU. Totals 54.5. SMU money line minus 185. Wake Forest plus 155. SMU's 5-2. Wake Forest 4-2. SMU's beaten East Texas A&M, lost to Baylor, shootout. Beat Missouri State, lost to TCU. Beat Syracuse, beat Stanford, beat Clemson. Had them picked to lose to Clemson. So go Ponies. Wake Forest has beaten Kennesaw State, Western Carolina, lost to NC State, lost to Georgia Tech, beat Virginia Tech, beat Oregon State. So not one quality win on their schedule. That's not their fault. But not one quality win on their schedule. Wake Forest, well, let's go SMU first. Kevin Jennings is the quarterback, 1,948 yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. QBR, 66.8, 55th in the country. He's almost got 2,000 yards passing. Running back TJ Harden, 96 carries, 431, 5 touchdowns. Chris Johnson Jr., 34 carries, 285, 3 touchdowns, 12 receptions, 162, 1 touchdown. Wide receiver Romello Brinson, 34 for 502 and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Hudson, 22 for 334 and 3 touchdowns. Defensive end Cameron Robertson, 38 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Safety Isaiah Nokobia, 53 tackles, 1 interception. Defensive tackle Jeffrey Mabah, 25 tackles, 5 sacks. Defensive end Isaiah Smith, 27 tackles, 4 sacks. Wake Forest quarterback Robbie Ashford, 1,172 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, QBR 44.1, 109 in the country. So he's pretty terrible. 57 carries, 233, 4 touchdowns. Also got this quarterback Deshaun Purdy, got 5 touchdowns. Because I think there might be a situation. Ashford, I'm not sure what's going on, if he's benched, if he's hurt, what the deal is, but I know Purdy, I think he just played this last game for them. Running back Damon Claiborne, 69 carries for 539, 8 touchdowns. Wide receiver Chris Barnes, 23 receptions for 410 and 3 touchdowns. Defensive lineman Langston Hardy, 33 tackles, 4.5 sacks. DB Nick Anderson, 50 tackles. SMU's offense, 408 yards a game, 279 passing, 128 rushing, 34 points a game. So my boy Jennings is airing that puppy out. And they're scoring 34 a game. SMU's defense is giving up 413, 316 through the air, 97 on the ground, 22 points a game. That 316 through the air is, in fact, the worst pass defense in the country. Which, lucky for them, it don't look like old Robbie Ashford can throw the ball. Deshaun Purdy, maybe he can. Maybe he can get it going through the air. Wake Forest, offensively, 409 yards a game, 249 passing, 160 rushing, 29 points a game. Defensively, 322, 181 passing, 141 rushing, 20 points a game. So what I see here is Wake Forest looks like they can throw the ball and run the ball offensively. Defensively, it looks like they give up a little bit in the run game. Not much in the pass. SMU gives up a lot in the pass game, but not much at all in the run game. They play pretty good run defense. SMU's favored, minus 3.5. SMU averages 34 points a game. I'm going to take SMU to win this one just because I think that win against Clemson was a statement That was a turning the page win for that program, a program that was in the ACC championship last year, a team that lost to Clemson in that game, lost to Penn State in the playoffs. That was a statement win last week against Clemson. And you can say Clemson's battered. Clemson's not who they were last year. Clemson hadn't been who they were, in Trevor Lawrence days, the Deshaun Watson days. They haven't been that in a while. Okay. So Clemson still did win the conference last year, though. And they were, if you don't remember, 9 weeks ago, everybody thought they were going to be a contender. Now we're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about Dabo potentially losing his job. That's what we're talking about. I have written down here. Can Wake Forest get the pass game going? Because if they can, SMU has the worst pass defense. Probably not going to be able to run the ball because SMU's run defense is really good. SMU, they're going to hit the big play on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to have 25-yard pass here, 45-yard pass here. That's just SMU. That's what they do. Big play, big play, big play. But they can beat you. They can control the clock and beat you that way too. SMU's got multiple ways they can beat you. They just happen to score a lot of points. And I don't mind seeing it. I don't know what the most they've scored this year is. I think it was in a loss to Baylor. But I have them here. Their offense averages 34 points a game. I have them going over that against Wake Forest. I have them beating Wake Forest 42-26. SMU wins this game 42-26. That's what Gridiron Gilly thinks. That's what I believe. And you can't convince me otherwise. Next game. Ooh, I like this one. Next game, Kansas State at Kansas. Kansas State's starting to put it together. Kansas is the favorite, -2.5, total 56.5. Moneyline Kansas -140, Kansas State +120. Kansas State's 3-4. Kansas is 4-3. Kansas State has lost to Iowa State. Give me one second. I wrote something down wrong, so I gotta look it up real quick because I know that's not right. I know that's right. Why'd I write that? Kansas State lost to Iowa State. They beat North Dakota. They lost to Army. They lost to Arizona. They beat UCF. They lost to Baylor. They beat TCU. Kansas beaten Fresno State. Wagner lost to Missouri. Beat West Virginia. Lost to Cincinnati. Beat UCF. Lost to Texas Tech. So they lost to Texas Tech, who up until last Saturday, favorite to win the Big 12. And I still think they're the favorite to win the Big 12. I just think they lost the game to Arizona State. Okay, it happens. Lost to Cincinnati, who is right now front runner in the Big 12, and lost to Missouri, who is a top dog in the SEC. Quality wins, quality losses at Kansas. Quarterback at Kansas State, Avery Johnson, 1,561 yards, 13 touchdowns, 2 picks. QBR 63.2, 65th in the country, 60 carries for 238, 3 touchdowns. Running back Joe Jackson, 75 carries, 313, 1 touchdown. Dylan Edwards, 34 carries, 205, 2 touchdowns. Wide receiver Jace Brown, 32 for 417 and 3 touchdowns. Jaron Tibbs, 30 receptions, 362 touchdowns. Tight end Garrett Oakley, 25 for 271 and 4 touchdowns. Defensive end Toby Salami, 20 tackles, 4 sacks. Linebacker Austin Romaine, 49 tackles. Linebacker Desmond Purnell, 37 tackles, 1 sack, 2 interceptions. Safety Quay Moss, 22 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions. Kansas, quarterback Jalen Daniels, 1,752 yards, 18 touchdowns, 2 picks. QBR 78.9, 19th in the country, 65 carries, 199 yards, 1 touchdown. Running back LaShawn Williams, 55 carries, 309, 5 touchdowns. Wide receiver Emmanuel Henderson Jr., 31 receptions, 530 yards, 4 touchdowns. Cam Pickett, 24 receptions, 309, 3 touchdowns. Tight end Bowden Groen, 25 receptions, 310, 3 touchdowns. Defensive end Leroy Harris III, 15 tackles, 4.5 sacks. Linebacker Trey Lathan, 49 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 interception. Kansas State, 365 yards of offense, 222 passing, 143 rushing, 29 points a game. Defensively, 386, 232 passing, 154 rushing, 27 points a game. Kansas offense 414, 263 passing, 151 rushing, 32 points a game. So offensively, they're better. Defensively, 394, 206 passing, 188 rushing, 23 points a game. So run defense a little bit worse. It's not a make or break thing. Kansas kicker Laith Marjan, 100% field goal kicker, long of 55. And that matters. That matters because Kansas is favored -2.5. And there's you 3 right there in that field goal. Total 56.5. I think we'll be over that. I think Kansas wins this game. I think Jalen Daniels, and they're both good quarterbacks. Between the two, you got 4 interceptions between the two. One's got 13 touchdowns passing. The other one's got 18 touchdowns passing. Both can run the ball. Both offenses, I think, are fine. Defensively, I think they're not. But, and this is, I said this last week when I talked about Baylor TCU. I'll say it again this week when I talk Kansas State Kansas. This is Big 12 football. This is what you expect to see middle of the pack Big 12 teams do. And that is score a lot of points and not play much defense. And that's what's going to happen here. Kansas, I think Kansas will win this game. I have Kansas winning this game. I have it written down right here what I think the score is going to be. If it's a shootout, which I expect, both teams protect the football, so may not be any turnovers. But if it's a shootout, as I expect, let's say it's going to be 42-42 at some point in the game, late in the game, obviously. You need a field goal. Send your boy out there, Laith Marjan, 100%, 55 long. Send him out there. He can probably make a 60-yarder. Win by 3. I like Kansas to win this game. I got it wrote down right here. 44-38, Kansas victorious. I'm taking the over. I'm taking Kansas to cover -2.5. I like it. I'm confident. Next game, College Game Day. This one right here is the game. Everybody will be tuned into this one right here for sure. Was it 2:30 kickoff? I don't know. We'll see. 15 Missouri at number 10 Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt favored -2.5. Total 52.5. Moneyline Vanderbilt -135. Missouri +115. Quarterback Bo Pribula for Missouri. 1,617 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 picks. QBR 77.7. 21st in the country. 67 carries, 210 for 5 touchdowns. Running back Ahmad Hardy. 139 carries, 840 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's a dog. Jamal Roberts, 56 carries, 406, 3 touchdowns. Wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr., 44 receptions, 449, 1 touchdown. Marquise Johnson, 25 for 322 and 2 touchdowns. Tight end Brett Norfleet, 25 for 221 and 5 touchdowns. You may not know any of those names I just said, but that is an explosive offense that Missouri has. Defensively, Damian Wilson, the second, junior, 12 tackles, 5.5 sacks. Linebacker Josiah Trotter, 44 tackles, 1 sack. Defensive end Zion Young, 23 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. So defensively, pretty daggum good. I haven't even read the numbers yet, but I can tell you Missouri's offense firing on all cylinders. Defense, probably firing on all cylinders. Probably got a pretty good run defense. Let's check out old Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt quarterback, Mr. Heisman, in my opinion. Diego Pavia, 1,569 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. QBR 85.2, 6th in the country. 77 carries, 438 yards, 4 touchdowns. Running back Cedric Alexander, 64 carries, 364, 6 touchdowns. 10 receptions for 105, 4 touchdowns. Tight end Eli Stowers, 28 receptions for 355, 2 touchdowns. Wide receiver Junior Sherrill, 25 receptions for 304, 5 touchdowns. Trey Richardson, 20 receptions for 242 and 1 touchdown. Edge rusher Miles Capers, 18 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Safety C.J. Hurd, 35 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception. Missouri's offense, 487 yards, 242 passing, 244 rushing, 39 points a game. Missouri's defense, 239 yards a game, 159 passing, not really a whole lot, 79 rushing. That's pretty daggum good. Hard to get better than that. 16 points a game. So that tells you why Missouri is 6-1. Lone loss to Alabama. Vandy, 457 yards a game offensively, 244 passing, 213 rushing, 41 points a game. See how similar their offenses sound? 457. I'll read you Missouri, Vandy, just offense. You ready? Missouri offense, 487 yards. Vandy, 457. Passing, 242, 244. Rushing, 244, 213. Points, 39, 41. You wonder why Vandy's undefeated. I'm sure their defense probably sounds the same as Missouri's. Let's see. Vandy's defense, 315 yards a game defensively. 223 passing, 92 rushing, 20 points a game. So they're getting up more pass yards, Vandy is. They're getting up more rush yards, but still less than 100 rush yards. It's hard to win when you can't establish the run. And 20 points a game. In college football, as centered around the offense as the game is these days, if you can give up 20 points a game, if you only give up 20 points a game, you win a lot. And that tells you why Vandy's 6-1. A lone loss to Alabama. Both teams lost to the same team. I have written down right here. I got 4 words. I'll read you those 4 words in a minute because I need to tell you who these teams have played. Missouri has beaten Central Arkansas, beaten Kansas, beaten Louisiana, beaten South Carolina, beaten UMass, lost to Bama, beat Auburn. Vandy's beaten Charleston, Virginia Tech, South Carolina, Georgia State, Utah State, lost to Bama, just beat LSU. Quality win. Vandy kicker, Brock Taylor, 100% on field goals, 51 long, got a long of 51 yards. Ready for those 4 words I got written down? It might sound familiar to you. These 4 words are, let me sit up. Get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready. Popcorn's 1 word, 7 letters, 2 syllables. Get your popcorn ready for this one. Missouri's pass defense, significantly better. Missouri's got some dogs on that D-line. I'm just reading you what I got written down here, okay? They're going to get after Vandy. They're going to get after Pavia. We'll see what he's made of. I feel like we already know what Pavia is made of. But this is going to be a challenge right here. We'll see what he can do, what him and his offense can do. Okay, he's not a one-man show, but in my opinion, he is a Heisman quality candidate. He's the most important player to his team in college football, in Gridiron Gill's opinion. Vandy is second, 3rd down offense. So Vandy's offense is second in the country on 3rd down. That means they go from 3rd down to 1st down a lot. Punter probably don't ever touch the field. Missouri is 7th in 3rd down defense. That means Missouri sees a lot of the other team's punter. Vandy is 101st in red zone defense. That means Vandy's red zone defense is not that good. Missouri is 27th in red zone offense. That means they can score. I'm excited about this one. I really am. Get your popcorn ready. I'm going to have my movie theater popcorn. The butter lover. I'm going to have some butter lover popping in the microwave. And right at kickoff, I'm going to split the bag open. That steam's going to hit me in the face. I'm going to reach in there, pull me out some popcorn, maybe throw some M&Ms in there for a little treat. And I'm going to be snacking and sipping on some water and watching a great game. And I hope it is a great game. I hope you hope that it's a great game. I had 11 views on my last video, so all 11 of you who watched it, I hope it's a great game for you. But I have Missouri winning this one 32-23. I think what it's going to come down to, they'll be scoring, and somewhere in there, Missouri's going to get a stop. Don't know where. Could be early, could be 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter, but somewhere in there. I don't see many turnovers happening as far as fumble, interception type plays. Maybe a muffed punt or something. But turnover on downs is going to happen, I feel like. It's going to shoot Vandy in the foot. Missouri's going to capitalize on that. And that's where this 32 is coming from. 32-23, Missouri wins this one. I'm going to take Missouri money line on it. Or Missouri plus 2.5. Either one is a safe bet. Number 11, BYU at Iowa State. Let me hurry. BYU 7-0, Iowa State 5-2. BYU has beaten Portland State, Stanford, East Carolina, Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona, Utah. Iowa State has beaten Kansas State, South Dakota, Iowa, Arkansas State, Arizona, lost to Cincinnati, lost to Colorado. BYU quarterback Bear Bachmeier, 1,386 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks, 75.9 QBR, 25th in the nation, 82 carries for 359, 8 touchdowns. LJ Martin, running back, 127 carries, 774, 4 touchdowns. So they like to run the ball. Wide receiver, Chase Roberts, 24 receptions, 463, 4 touchdowns. Parker Kingston, 27 receptions, 383, 2 touchdowns. Tight end Carson Ryan, 18 receptions, 247, 2 touchdowns. Linebacker Jack Kelly, 28 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Safety Felito Satuila, 43 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 sack, 1 interception. Linebacker Isaiah Glasker, 31 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions. Iowa State quarterback Rocco Becht, 1,622 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 7 rush touchdowns. QBR 68.5, 46th in the country. Running back Abu Simo III, 92 carries, 41, 4 touchdowns. Carson Hansen, 79 carries, 348, 2 touchdowns. So they too like to run the football. Wide receiver Brett Eskilson, 20 receptions, 334, 2 touchdowns. Tight end Benjamin Brommer, 24 receptions, 242, 3 touchdowns. D lineman Tomato McDonough, 15 tackles, 2 sacks. Defensive back Marcus Neal, 45 tackles, 1 sack. Defensive back Jamison Patton, 25 tackles, 2 interceptions. Iowa State was favored, minus 3.5, total 48.5. Iowa State money line minus 150, BYU plus 130. BYU's offense, 436 yards a game, 203 passing, 232 rushing, 35 points a game. So yes, they do indeed like to run the football. Defensively, 293 a game, 171 passing, 121 rushing, 15 points a game. Iowa State, 405 yards a game, 242 passing, 163 rushing, 29 points a game. Iowa State defense, 345 yards a game, 203 passing, 141 rushing, 19 points a game. Iowa State favored here. I'm not sure why. I watch BYU football. I've watched BYU for a while now. BYU was a contender last year until they weren't. I think BYU lost a game there late in the year, and it cost them. But they were undefeated. They were doing just what they're doing this year. They were doing that same thing last year. Quietly beating teams here and there that you didn't expect. They beat SMU last year, early in the year. That's whenever I became a believer. That's when I saw, and they held them to 15 points. They held SMU to 15 points, and I said, hey, those guys, they're for real. They play defense. The Mormons know how to play defense. And here's the dealio. Nothing in me is buying this Iowa State minus 3.5. Iowa State might win this game, but I'm not buying it, and I'm not going to say. I have written down right here. This is my analysis of this game. I got 3 words with a exclamation point. It says BYU run ball. That's all it says. BYU run ball. That's all I've written down on this game. Because you got Bachmeier here with 82 carries on the year. And you got LJ Martin with 127 carries on the year. You got 2 receivers and a tight end. One's got 24 receptions, one got 27 receptions. So what's that right there? Like 51? Then you got a tight end with 18 receptions. So like 68 receptions. A very run-heavy offense. I don't care how good Iowa State's run defense is. They only give up 141 on the ground. Well, they're going to give up more than that Saturday because BYU is going to go on the road. They'll go to Iowa State. Matt Campbell, he's a great head coach. He's deserving of a better job, of a better atmosphere. But BYU is going to win this game. BYU is going to win this game. They're going to run the ball. They're going to impose their will, control the line of scrimmage, control the clock. I'm not going to give Iowa State much to work with. They're going to win this game 30-17. That's what I think. I'm not guaranteeing anything. That's just what I think. 30-17. I like it. 2 more games for you. I know I've been rambling. This has been going on for a while, but it happens. Number 23, Illinois at Washington. Washington's favored. Minus 4.5. Totals 53.5. Washington money line minus 195. Illinois plus 165. Both teams 5-2. Quarterback for Illinois, Luke Altmaier, 1,821 yards, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. QBR is 84.4, ninth in the nation. And I know a lot about Illinois. I know a lot about Illinois football. I've been watching them for a couple of years too now. And I've been saying this quarterback here, I've been saying he's the real deal. And I think he is. But here's the deal. I don't know anything about Washington. I know they're 5-2. I know I know the guys' names. I know their stats because I have them written down. But I haven't watched the Washington game in a very, very, very long time since they played. I didn't even watch them in the playoff a couple of years ago. I think the last time I watched Washington play was whenever they played Alabama in the playoff, like 10 years ago or whenever that was. I haven't watched Washington since Jake Locker was their quarterback. So, don't hate me. Running back, Caden Fagan, 85 carries, 338, 5 touchdowns. Khalil Valentine, 64 carries, 329, 3 touchdowns. Hank Beatty, receiver, 39 for 617, 2 touchdowns. Colin Dixon, 22 for 357 and 3 touchdowns. Linebacker, Gabe Akis, 23 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. DB, Matthew Bailey, 39 tackles, 1 forced fumble. Washington quarterback, Demond Williams Jr., 1,837 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. QBR 81.2, 14th in the country, 79 carries, 363 yards, 4 touchdowns. So they're pretty much dead even on yards. Running back Jonah Coleman, 112 carries, 568, 12 touchdowns, and 23 receptions for 284, 1 touchdown. Adam Mohammed, 37 carries for 182, 2 touchdowns. Wide receiver Denzel Boston, 34 for 515, 6 touchdowns. And Desmond Roebuck, 21 for 358, 2 touchdowns. Edge rusher Jacob Lane, 27 tackles, 2.5 sacks. Safety Alex McLaughlin, 50 tackles, 2 interceptions. Illinois offense, 383 yards a game, 264 passing, 118 rushing, 34 points a game. Illinois defense, 371 yards a game, 240 passing, 131 rushing, 25 points a game. Washington's offense, 437 yards a game, 269 passing, 167 rushing, 34 points a game. So Washington runs the ball better than Illinois. That's what I gather. Washington's defense, 332 yards a game, 234 passing, 98 rushing, 20 points a game. So Washington plays better defense. They give up less points. They give up about 40 less rush yards, 6 yards in the passing, and then probably about 40-something yards total. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know anything about Washington other than what I just read you. I know all about Illinois. I know they're a good team that's lost to some great teams. Is Washington a great team? I don't think so, but I think they're a good team. And I'll just tell you this. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Illinois has beaten Western Illinois, Duke, Michigan, lost to Indiana, beat Southern California, USC, beat Purdue, lost to Ohio State. Washington's beaten Colorado State, UC Davis, Washington State, lost to Ohio State, beat Maryland, beat Rutgers, lost to Michigan. So Washington has lost to Michigan and Ohio State. Illinois lost to Indiana and Ohio State. And Michigan's not a bad team either. Michigan's a good team. Even though Michigan got blew out by USC, doesn't matter. What matters is Illinois at Washington. I'm going to take Washington to win this one, 24-20, and here's why I'm going to take that. Simply because a few weeks ago when Ohio State went there, I heard all of the people say, that's a tough place to play. Ohio State got their hands full with this one. Washington's a tough place to play. The Huskies, they're hard to beat at home. I heard that. And I didn't buy into it. I said, Ohio State's going to beat them. Like, I don't care how tough it is. Ohio State's going to win the game, and they did inevitably. But sip of water for the working man. But if it's that tough that those people want to talk about it, the TV experts, if they want to talk about how tough it is to play in Washington, and for Illinois going across the country to play them, if you say it's tough for Ohio State, then I'm going to say it's tough for Illinois. And I'm going to say Illinois' offense, they'll be firing on all cylinders, but their defense will not be. This Washington offense, they look like they can score some points. They look like they can do some things in the run game and the pass game. Quarterback, dual threat guy. So I'm going to take Washington to win this one 24-20. Good old-fashioned, low-scoring game, in my opinion. The last game I'm doing, and this is the game I care most about. This is the game I'm looking most forward to, and this is the game that you'll tell your grandchildren about, okay? I'm about to talk. I'm about to ramble, and I'm about to say some things that might hurt some feelings, but that's okay. Number 3, Texas A&M at number 20, LSU, the Tigers in the Bayou. I got a flag there for LSU. I got a flag there for A&M. I got an A&M hat on. I got an LSU cup. I got a cup. I got it at an LSU game a few years ago when they beat Arkansas. That was back in Jaden Daniels and KJ Jefferson days. Back when Sam Pittman had a job before he got fired. It's going to be another coach get fired this weekend. And I'm about to talk about it. Texas A&M 7-0. LSU 5-2. Spread is A&M minus 2.5. Total 47.5. A&M moneyline minus 145. LSU plus 125. Who has A&M played? Played UTSA. You say Gridiron Gilly? Of course they beat UTSA. UTSA ran the ball on them, ran it down their throat. So A&M had their hands full in the run game, won the game. Utah State won the game. They go into South Bend, play Notre Dame at their place, shootout, and beat them on a prayer, by a prayer. But that doesn't matter how they win. It just matters what it says at the end of the game. And at the end of the game, it said A&M was 3-0. Then they play Auburn at home. A defensive game, a game there at the end where they looked like they didn't know what they were doing, but a game they won nonetheless. Mississippi State, a game where a Mississippi State team that had been looking pretty good all year long until this point, when Mississippi State didn't look like they knew what was going on. Then you play a Florida team who just came from beating Texas. They beat Texas on their own field, on Florida's field, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, in the swamp. You know, they beat Texas. And A&M beat Florida at their place, Kyle Field. Pretty lopsided. Then A&M goes on the road to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Bobby Petrino, Arkansas Razorbacks. In my opinion, bad record, but a great offense. If Arkansas had the defense that Missouri or Alabama or Texas has, I mean, you're talking about a team that's going to be in the SEC championship for real, like a legitimate threat. Arkansas's offense is nothing to play with. And when you watch that A&M and Arkansas game the other day, if you watched it, you saw A&M go ahead early, and you said, whew, this is easy for A&M. Cut off the TV, go outside and walk around my property, look at the grass, watch the leaves fall off the tree, do something. You go back inside, you cut the game back on. I wonder how bad A&M's beating them now. And you look, Arkansas then came back on them. A&M barely won this game, but they did. And I said all that to say A&M has won 7 games in a row, all in different fashions. A&M can beat you any which way they want to, any which way they choose to. Okay? LSU, they beat Clemson. Everybody said, hey, go Tigers. That's my team. We about to go win a national championship with Brian Kelly. They beat Louisiana Tech. They beat Florida. Beat Southeastern Louisiana. Lost to Ole Miss. Beat South Carolina. Lost to Vandy. Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed. Best thing they've had since Johnny Football. He's got 1,770 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. QBR 72.4, 35th in the country. 51 carries for 241 and 4 touchdowns. Running back Reuben Owens, 70 carries for 396, 3 touchdowns. Le'Veon Moss is hurt. Wide receiver Mario Craver, 36 receptions, 674, 4 touchdowns. Casey Concepcion, 33 receptions, 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. Also know of a couple other guys they got at receiver. They haven't thrown the ball to him yet. I don't know why. But they got some dark horses at receiver too that you haven't heard about much. That's all I'm going to say. Defensive end Cassius Howell, 14 tackles, 8 sacks. Linebacker Torian York, 41 tackles, 1 sack. Linebacker Damian Sanford, 32 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. Defensive end Dayon Hayes, 13 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, 1,638 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. QBR 74, 33rd in the country. Running back Caden Durham, 74 carries through 342, 2 touchdowns. Harlem Berry, 37 carries, 166, 1 touchdown. Wide receiver Aaron Anderson, 24 receptions for 323. Berrien Brown, 301 for 32 receptions for 301 yards, 1 touchdown. Xavier Thomas, 19 receptions for 259, 3 touchdowns. Bauer Sharp, 16 receptions, 190, 1 touchdown. Tradez Green, 15 receptions for 210, 3 touchdowns. I named all these guys because it's pretty much all they have. No run game. They're at LSU. Linebacker Harold Perkins, 31 tackles, 2 sacks. Safety A.J. Hawley, 52 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. West Weeks, linebacker, 42 tackles, 46 tackles, 1.5 sacks. Offensively, A&M, 464 yards a game, 267 passing, 196 rushing, 36 points a game. A&M's defense, 327 yards a game, 200 passing, 126 rushing, 23 points a game. LSU's offense, 366 yards a game, 253 passing, 112 rushing, 25 points a game. So A&M throws the ball slightly better for more yards, but runs the ball for a lot more yards and scores 11 more points. LSU's defense gives up 311 yards, 189 passing, 122 rushing, 14 points. So LSU gives up less points, a little bit less rush yards, a little bit less, or significantly less pass yards. So LSU's got a pretty good pass defense. LSU's run defense, okay. A&M's run game's hurt right now with Le'Veon Moss out. I think Owens is going to just pick up the slack. But I just got through telling you that A&M can beat you in a variety of ways. And you're looking at an LSU team who has lost to Ole Miss. Couldn't stop Ole Miss's offense. You look at Vandy, they couldn't stop Vandy's offense. A&M. LSU's offense is 54th on third down. Ranked 54th in the country on third down. A&M's defense is ranked second in the country on third down. So what does that tell you? That tells you can expect to see the punt unit out there, the special teams unit, the punter. I don't know who LSU's punter is, but I'll know him after Saturday night. The whole world will know who he is. They'll know his name. They'll know how far he can punt the football because he will be punting the football Saturday night. This game right here, total's 47.5. A&M's favorite minus 2.5. They're both good defensively. Offensively, LSU doesn't have that great of a run game. They can throw the ball, though. They score 25 points, so they don't score a whole lot of points. A&M's offense is significantly better. LSU's defense is slightly better, it says. It's a hostile environment. So was Notre Dame. And how did that go? Do I think this is going to be as high scoring as Notre Dame? I don't think so. Is it going to be like that one game where they went to like 7 overtimes? I don't think so. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You know what time of year it is? It's Halloween. And Halloween is a time for scary stories and costumes and trick-or-treating. But Halloween's pretty scary to some people. That's just the way it is. Some people don't like Halloween. Some people are too. They think it's got some undertones that are unwelcoming and unbecoming. So some people don't like Halloween, and that's okay. That's their prerogative. Sip of water for the working man. But let me tell you this. Halloween, in my opinion, it's about scary. It's about monsters and goblins and witches and just being scared, being spooked. A&M might be playing on the road. They might be playing in a hostile environment this Saturday. But they don't have anything to be scared of. The LSU Tigers are nothing to be scared of. I wear this A&M hat proudly right now as I tell you that the only thing scary going to happen this Saturday is what A&M is going to do to LSU. On the offensive side of the ball, on the defensive side of the ball, special teams side of the ball, it don't matter. Brian Kelly's last game as the LSU head coach will take place Saturday, October 25th, 2025, at Tiger Stadium in Death Valley, Baton Rouge. Write it down. That will be Brian Kelly's last game at the helm of one of the most notorious programs in college. Not even in football, just baseball, basketball, all sports, women's basketball. LSU's notorious. But all we care about here in the South is football, okay? And he's not doing it. He hasn't got it done. This will be his last game. Because I wish I had Sarah McLachlan music right now. I'll try to play some. I'm going to play some for you. Got a little ad coming up. Got a little ad. So long, BK. All right, that's enough. Because here's the dealio, guys. Let me get to the point. Let me cut to the chase. I want a sip of water for the working man, but I'm not going to take it. I'm going to cut to the chase real quick. You ever been swimming? You ever been to the beach? The beach is a little bit different than swimming in a river or a lake. The beach, you'd be swimming, you'd be out there in the water, you'd be playing, and you get lost in the moment, throwing the volleyball back and forth or whatever, throwing the football back and forth while you're in the water, and you get sidetracked, and whenever you look, you're way out there in the deep because the tide, the waves, they pull you out there in the deep. Well, that's Texas A&M. That's Texas A&M this Saturday. Texas A&M is going to pull LSU against their will out there in the deep, and they'll hold them underwater. They'll drown them. Okay. They might have mercy. They might let them come up for a breath. But inevitably, they're done. It's over with. The bubbles will eventually stop, and A&M will walk out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, make the bus ride back to College Station, 8-0, and Brian Kelly will be booking a one-way flight out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I hate to say that because I got a lot of friends who like LSU. I like this cup. It's my favorite drinking glass. It's not even insulated, but it keeps the drink cool. Sip of water for the working man. Keeps the drink cool. Get you one of these cups. You go to the game Saturday night, get you one of these cups. They might have Brian. The new cups might have Brian Kelly's face on them. I won't be there next week. Because A&M is going to win this game. Not even going to be close. I'm sorry if I rambled too long, but that's a game that I think you need to know. You need to stop believing in fairy tales, and you need to hear the truth. And the truth shall set you free. That's all Gridiron Gilly has to say about that.